Welcome back to Campus Connect. I'm your host, Ed Yaw, and today we're talking about the Morris Museum with Executive Director Linda Moore and CCM's Dean of Liberal Arts, Keith Smith. Well, thank you very much for a wonderful background on the museum, and the comprehensive nature of the program is really quite impressive. And we're excited, and again, thanks to your initiative in reaching out to us about the opportunities for collaboration between the college and the museum. Keith, maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the things that your faculty and you have been talking about in ways in which we can work with the museum.
Well, there are several things we're doing with the museum currently. One is that our drama students do internships at the Bickford Theater, and we have one of our fashion design professors who has brought her students over to look at the musical instrument collection that's housed at the museum, and used it as an inspiration for their designs. And we're talking about perhaps displaying those student designs. Other things that we have discussed that are in the future and we hope will come into fruition are showing some student works in the North Gallery, the best of the best that CCM has in the Visual Arts Department, and also perhaps a faculty exhibition in the Headley Gallery.
That's great, and I think just as we've been talking today, even some other ideas have come into place. I know that, for example, we've had your folks looking at some of our video discs from the poetry festivals and the wonderful poetry performances that we've had here at the college, and maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about that as well, Dean Smith.
Well, since the early 1970s, CCM has been a center for poetry, a national center for poetry, and we've had 14 Pulitzer Prize winning poets read at the County College of Morris. Most of this was arranged by Professor Sandy Zuloff. And we also publish the Journal of New Jersey Poets every year. It comes out in the spring. In fact, it's due out in about 2 weeks. And last year we began the first New Jersey Poets Prize and awarded that, and we will be awarding the second one on the 27th of April here, where we're having a reading of New Jersey poets and awarding the New Jersey Poets Prize for the second time. Our collaboration with the Morris Museum is that we have a tremendous video collection of all of these great poets reading. People like James Wright and Elizabeth Bishop, and that's an archive that I think doesn't exist anywhere else. And we're hoping that perhaps we can have an ongoing exhibition that would allow visitors to hear these poets read and see how wonderful and rich the connection with poetry is in New Jersey.
Yeah. Again, I think we're just scratching the surface. I think there are going to be so many opportunities for us, and again, there's some collaborative opportunities that we can continue to explore. But let's get into the dinosaur pit, if I could change the subject a little bit. Tell us about the exhibit. That's your.
The title of the exhibit is Digging Dinosaurs. And it is really focused on our target audience are children and families. And it looks at dinosaurs from the perspective of their life cycle. The early section deals with age, such as artifacts such as a real dinosaur egg that visitors can touch, a molded nest area that young children can crawl into and explore what it might be like to be a young dinosaur. And it's driving home the point that all dinosaurs started out in an egg. Then we have hands-on interactives that children can explore. We actually have a model skull of an Edmontosaurus which is the species from which the New Jersey state dinosaur, the Hadrosaurus folci, originates. A key feature of the exhibit is a absolutely wonderful 30-foot mural that was done by Karen Carr, who is one of the most renowned paleo artists in the country. And this mural depicts what New Jersey might have looked like in the Cretaceous era. And that is the time frame when dinosaurs roamed to New Jersey. Prior to that, most of New Jersey was underwater, so we have a rich supply of marine fossils, but in terms of dinosaur tracks and skeletal parts, it's really the Cretaceous period. The development of that mural was really quite fascinating. We worked with a team of paleontologists who helped identify specimens from that period, such as a fern fossil or a skin impression of a hadrosaur or a piece of New Jersey petrified wood. And then the artist used that as inspiration for crafting a landscape and placing hadrosaurs right in that landscape. And it really is quite impressive when you walk into the gallery and you see that.
That's great. Now you've had the dinosaur exhibit for a while. There's a history to the exhibit as well, right?
There is. About 30 years ago, Irene Sachs, who was then our director of science, created a dinosaur den. And one of the pieces she did was a stegosaurus that she crafted with the intent that it would be on view for a year or two. Well, 30 years later, it was time to retire Stega.
Okay.
And there's just universal interest in dinosaurs, and we thought it was a good opportunity to really bring it out of the basement, put it in larger space, and really include a lot more hands-on activities.
Well, it's very exciting, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in that exhibit going forward, for sure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there are just some really unique things in the exhibit. There's an opportunity for children to do a track rubbing so that they'll have something that they take home with them. There's actually dinosaur poop featured in the exhibit, which its technical name is caprolites.
Okay.
There's a T-Rex skull that they can explore. A wonderful interactive where a visitor can press a button and hear the honking noise that a hadrosaur might make. And that was developed in collaboration with scientists on the West Coast.
That's it's just remarkable, and as I said, I think that's going to be a great. Now that's an exhibit that's actually up and available now, so people can go there today to see this exhibit.
Absolutely, it just opened. It's a permanent exhibit. It is a terrific resource for casual drop-in visitors. They can come for an hour or spend the day. It also will inform a lot of our programming for school audiences.
That's great. When Campus Connect returns, we'll talk with our guests about the rock and roll exhibit opening at the Morris Museum. Please stay with us.